Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Plainview Old Bethpage John F. Kennedy High School Jazz Night. This is the first concert we have had in person in the entire district since February of 2020. I would be truly remiss if I didn't acknowledge the work that went into this performance this evening. I don't need to tell you, as I'm sure the students on the stage come home and tell you every day, how dedicated the music and performing arts staff has been throughout the entire pandemic. But it was their paramount goal from the very beginning to bring students back on stage to be able to perform live as soon as we were able to. And although maybe we have masks and some bell covers and whatever we have here on stage and distanced apart, we are here, and that is the most important thing. And we really need to say thank you to all of you for your support throughout this year. This has been a year unlike any other, and I'm sure I'm not going to be the last person that says that in the next couple of weeks, but I do get the honor to be the first. So I don't want to take up too much time, but we certainly need to acknowledge and thank the security crew here, the custodial crew, and especially the building administration, who were all integral to make this evening happen. Can we give them a round of applause, please? And of course, our Music Parent Association, BAPOB, the Music Association of Plainview Old Bethpage, and their support to make this happen as well. The president is here with us tonight, Ms. Herman. Thank you for being here. And I think after 15 months, I'm ready to listen to some jazz. How about all of you? So I'd like to turn it over to our jazz band director and the jazz lab director, Mr. Brian Carter and Mr. Nick Dentrone.
1, 2, 3.
So that was Jaco Pastorius's Havona, and I'm going to embarrass Sam for a second here because he's a senior and I have to. Can't get away with getting out of here without getting the story. So I played that tune one time in my professional career with another group of really talented musicians that I grew up with, and one kid that was kind of like under my mentorship. Incredible bass player. He's gone on to do really cool things playing bass and in medicine. And he's the only other bass player that I've ever been able to hear play this tune. And when I gave the music to Sam, he was like, oh wow, this is hard. And that arrangement, and I'm sorry that I have to like kind of nerd out on this a little bit for you guys, but that arrangement has two bass parts. It has an alternate bass part, and it has the real bass part that probably the most prodigal talent of bass, for electric bass, Jaco Pastorius played. And when I gave them both to Sam, I said, hey man, you can do whatever you want to do. And I said, knowing that he was going to work really hard to get to it, I said, I knew one other kid that could play this. And then his whole mentality was, he's going to be the second person. And it was really, really cool to sit there and be a part of this musical moment with Sam playing that the way he did. So that was Sam Karp on bass playing Jaco's line. We also had on drums, Aaron Rabinowitz, who's back over on vibes now. We had 3 soloists on that tune, including Garrett Herman on vibes. We had Owen Werno on guitar. And Kevin Eisenberg on piano. So as you can see, we switch up the grouping a little bit. We are going to be moving around a lot in the saxophone and the trumpet and trombone section because these arrangements have different settings. So we're going to switch around a little bit. This is Freddie Hubbard's Little Sunflower. On this tune, we're going to feature Matan Marcus Newman on trombone, Brandon Sala on the tenor saxophone. We're going to have Sam Karp on bass, and we're going to have Kevin Eisenberg on piano. So this is Little Sunflower, Freddie Hubbard.
2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
That was Archit Gore on drums there at the very end. I gotta say, I had to play at a recital yesterday at Five Towns, and I really don't feel that different playing with the college kids that I do right now playing with the high school kids. I mean, Nadav would probably tell you that I made a couple of mistakes in that one too, because I was just having so much fun. So this is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. I'm glad to be a part of this. So we're gonna switch drummers again. We got our multi-talented musician, composer, vibes, drum set player, piano player, fantastic musician, Garrett Herman on the drum set for this one. This is an arrangement of the Burt Bacharach tune, Alfie, arranged by my former college professor from Queens College, Michael Philip Mossman. On this one, we are going to feature Jared Pardo on guitar and Kevin Eisenberg on piano. This is Alfie.
One, two, three, four.
Okay, so before we go on to our last tune, we have some switches in the trombone section and in the saxophone section again. Nice job on Alfie. So this last tune is one of the iconic jazz arrangements of all time. That's somewhat of a subjective statement, but it is one of the iconic tunes. It's called Inner Urge by Joe Henderson. This is a college-level arrangement that I wanted to save for the right group, and I think it's fitting that in my 4th year, some of the students that I started with the first year are now seniors, and it ended up working out perfectly so that we can kind of do it as their last one on the way out. This is very, very high pace. It features all sections of the band, including the rhythm section, including the saxophones, and the brass section. We're going to have solos over this tune by Owen Werno and Kevin Eisenberg. We have switched back over to Archit Gore on the drums. So this is Inner Urge. Thank you all for being here. This has been great to kind of like get everything kicked off again with the jazz ensemble. This is really a special group. I love the autonomy that this ensemble has. They don't need me to do anything, which is why I love to just play with them. So thank you all so much for allowing me to be a part of this, and I hope that you enjoy our last tune, Inner Urge. Thank you, everybody.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Kevin Eisenberg on piano, Joey Viesti on guitar, Jared Pardo on guitar, Owen Werno on guitar, Archit Gore, Garrett Herman, Aaron Rabinowitz on percussion, Sam Karp on bass, Brandon Sala, Colin Schubert, Nadab Marcus Newman on saxophones. Trombones, we got Matan Marcus Newman, Tyler Cass, and Andrew Jang. Trumpets, Zach Merritt and Jack Cornell. I'm Mr. Carter, this is Mr. Denchon. Thank you guys so much for being here. We had a lot of fun.
Let's give another round of applause for the director, Mr. Carter. So if you are a senior, stand up. So I know that this has been a particularly difficult year for our seniors. They've missed so much of their junior year and so much of this year. So to have them back and being on stage, I felt it very important to give them really a special acknowledgement tonight, because I know that they played their heart and souls for you and put all that they can into this performance. So give these seniors a big round of applause. You guys can sit. So this is my 5th year here, Mr. Carter's 4th year here, and you alluded to having the right group to do this. And as I was sitting, listening to the kids play, well, the young men and women here on stage, I couldn't help but think that 5 years ago, in one of my first round of spring concerts here, I remember seeing some students. And I remember seeing a young drummer at Matlin Middle School with Maestro Hirsch playing. And I thought to myself, that kid's pretty good. And I remember wrote him a letter. And then I saw a kid playing bass at POB Middle School, and he was playing with the chorus, and he was playing with the band, and he was playing with the jazz band. And I said, that kid's pretty good. I'm going to write him a letter. And that was Sam, and that was Archie. And look where they are now. It's pretty cool. I remember walking into so many rooms and hearing so many of these kids practice or playing with each other or playing, just jamming on their own. I remember the first time I met Garrett was in POB Middle School, and he was playing this amazing thing on the piano. And I said, how long have you been taking piano lessons? And he goes, I don't. And I could tell a story about every one of these kids here on stage for all the work that they've done. They really are a special, special group. And we don't always find a jazz band, and you won't always find a jazz band this tight and this professional sounding just anywhere. And that's really a testament to not only their work ethic, their talent, but your support and encouragement at home, the support they have here from their teachers, from their administration, and our Board of Education, all the way up to Dr. O'Meara, our superintendent. So really, just thank all of you. We've turned a corner. We're finally able to be back, and we thank you all for being here this evening. Please get home safe. My name is Mr. Rogers. It's great to be with you this evening, and I'll see you all soon. Thank you, and have a good night.